The alarm bells rang through the Galactic Council monitoring station like angry wasps. Commander Zithkar dropped his morning meal and rushed to the main control room. His forearms moved quickly across the glowing panels as he tried to understand what was happening. "What is it now?" he asked his second officer, a thin creature with purple skin named Valan. She pointed at the large screen that showed the empty space around their station. "Something big just appeared out there, Commander." The computers say it came from nowhere. Her voice shook a little. In all her years working at the station, she had never seen anything like this. Zithkar looked at the numbers on his screen. Whatever had appeared was huge, maybe 3 times bigger than their largest warships. But that was not the strange part. The strange part was how it moved. "Look at these readings," he said to Velan. "This thing is moving faster than our best ships, but it uses no energy that we can detect. How is that possible?" The object on their screen looked like a long metal tube with strange bumps and wings sticking out from its sides. It was dark gray, almost black, and covered with lights that blinked in patterns they had never seen before. Far away from the monitoring station, on the mysterious ship itself, Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge and looked out at the stars. He was a tall man with short brown hair and tired eyes. He had been fighting in space wars for 20 years, but he had never been this far from Earth. "Lisa, how did our jump test go?" he asked the woman standing next to a wall full of blinking machines. Lisa Rodriguez was the best engineer in the human fleet. She was small but tough, with black hair tied back and grease stains on her blue uniform. "The jump worked better than we hoped, Captain," she said with a big smile. "We went much farther than our computers said we would. The alien technology we found is amazing when we mix it with our own ideas." Jake nodded, but looked worried. "Pete, where are we exactly?" Pete Collins sat at the navigation desk, staring at his screens with a confused look. He was young, maybe 25, with red hair and freckles. He had joined the Space Navy right out of college. "Sir, according to our maps, we should be in empty space near Jupiter. But my instruments show we are somewhere completely different. There are planets here that should not exist, and I am getting signals from what looks like space stations." Dr. Helen Wright looked up from her own workstation. She was the ship's expert on alien life, a serious woman with gray hair and thick glasses. She had spent her whole life studying the few alien artifacts that had crashed on Earth. "Captain, I am picking up radio signals in languages that do not match anything in our databases. The patterns suggest intelligent communication, but the words are completely unknown to us." Jake felt his stomach drop. They had been testing their new jump drive in what they thought was a safe area of space. Instead, they had jumped right into alien territory. This was humanity's worst fear and greatest hope all at the same time. "Red alert," Jake said calmly. "All hands to battle stations. Lisa, I need our weapons and shields ready right now." The ship's lights changed from white to red as alarms started ringing. All over the Unzi Defiance, 600 crew members ran to their positions. They had trained for this moment, but no one had expected it to happen so soon. "Captain," called Amy Turner from the communications station. She was a young woman with blonde hair who spoke 7 Earth languages. "I am getting multiple signals directed at us. They sound like demands, but I cannot understand what they want." "Put it on the main speakers," Jake ordered. Strange sounds filled the bridge. The alien voices were deep and musical, but there was anger in their tone. Even without understanding the words, everyone could tell they were not happy about the human ship's arrival. Ron Baker, the tactical officer, was a big man with a beard who had served in 3 different space battles. He studied his weapons screens carefully. "Sir, I count 12 alien ships moving toward us. They are big, maybe twice the size of our old Earth destroyers. And Captain, they are powering up weapons. Jake looked around his bridge at his crew. These were good people, the best humanity had to offer. Lisa had designed engines that could outrun anything Earth had ever built. Pete could navigate through asteroid fields in his sleep. Helen knew more about alien technology than anyone alive. Amy could learn new languages faster than computers. Ron had never lost a space battle, but now they were alone, far from Earth, facing an unknown enemy in ships they had never seen before. Helen, what can you tell me about those ships? Jake asked. Dr. Wright studied her screens for a long moment. Their energy signatures matched some of the technology we found in the crashed alien probes. But, Captain, these ships look old. Their design is simple compared to what we have built by mixing human and alien technology. Are you saying we might have better technology than they do? Jake asked. It is possible. We took their basic ideas and improved them using human engineering. They might still be using the same old designs they have had for hundreds of years. Lisa looked excited. Captain, our shields and weapons use both human and alien technology working together. If Dr. Wright is right, we might be able to surprise them. Jake made his decision. Amy, try to send them a peaceful message. Tell them we do not want to fight. Pete, plot a course back toward Earth space, but do not engage the jump drive yet. Ron, charge our weapons but do not lock onto their ships. Lisa, bring our shields to full power, but keep our energy signature low. Sir, Ron said, more ships are appearing. I count 20 now, and they are surrounding us. On the alien flagship, Admiral Cresson studied the strange vessel that had appeared in Council space. He was an old warrior, with scars across his blue-scaled face and ribbons on his uniform from 50 years of service. Have we ever seen anything like this ship before? He asked his science officer. No, Admiral. The design is completely unknown. But our sensors detect technology that was banned after the Great War. No species should have access to these energy patterns. Admiral Cresson felt worried. The banned technologies had nearly destroyed half the galaxy 300 years ago. If some unknown species had rediscovered them, it could mean war on a scale not seen for generations. Send a demand for immediate surrender, he ordered. If they refuse, we will disable their ship and take them as prisoners. The Council must know about this threat. Back on the Defiance, Amy Turner tried her best to translate the alien messages. Captain, they want us to surrender. They keep using a word that might mean forbiddance or dangerous. I think they are afraid of our technology. Jake looked at his crew. They were ready to fight, but he hoped it would not come to that. Humanity had dreamed of meeting alien life for hundreds of years. He did not want their first meeting to end in battle. Send them our surrender terms, he said. Tell them we will talk, but we will not give up our ship or our crew. If they want to negotiate, they can do it as equals. The alien response came back quickly, and Amy's face went pale as she listened. Captain, they say they do not negotiate with species that use forbidden weapons. They are demanding we tell them the location of our homeworld, and they want us to submit to immediate boarding and inspection. Jake looked out at the alien ships surrounding them. Humanity had taken its first step into the galaxy, and it looked like they were going to have to fight for the right to stay. The 20 alien warships moved closer to the human vessel, their weapons glowing with deadly energy. Admiral Cresson stood on his command bridge, watching the strange ship that had appeared in Council space. His orders were clear from the Galactic Council: capture or destroy any vessel using forbidden technology. Admiral, his communications officer reported, the unknown ship is sending another message. They claim they want to talk, but they will not surrender their vessel or reveal their home world location. Cresson's scaled face showed anger. In his 50 years of military service, no unknown species had ever refused Council demands. The galaxy had been peaceful for 3 centuries precisely because all species followed council law. Impossible, he said. They must understand that council law applies to all intelligent life. Send them the standard warning. They have one more chance to comply before we take action. On the human ship, Captain Jake Morrison gathered his senior officers in a small meeting room behind the bridge. The red alert lights still flashed, and everyone could feel the tension in the air. Options? Jake asked his team. Ron Baker, Lee. Tactical officer, spoke first. Captain, we are outnumbered 20-1. Even with our new technology, those are bad odds. But their ship designs look old. I think we could take out 3 or 4 of them before they destroy us. Dr. Helen Wright shook her head. Captain, we cannot start a war with an entire alien civilization. This might be humanity's only chance to join the galactic community. If we fight now, they will see us as dangerous enemies forever. Lisa Rodriguez looked at her engineering reports. The new jump drive needs 30 minutes to recharge after that long jump we made. We cannot escape right now, even if we wanted to. Amy Turner had been listening to alien communications for the past hour. Sir, I am starting to understand some of their language. They keep using words that translate to forbidden weapons and ancient dangers. I think they are scared of our technology. Jake thought about this. Scared? Why would they be scared of us? We are just one ship. Captain, Helen said slowly, remember the alien artifacts we found crashed on Earth? What if those were not just random pieces of technology? What if they were weapons from some ancient war that nearly destroyed the galaxy? The room went quiet as everyone understood what she meant. Humanity had built their new technology by combining human engineering with alien artifacts. If those artifacts were weapons from a terrible war, then the aliens might see the human ship as a return of that ancient threat. Amy, send them another message, Jake ordered. Tell them we are peaceful explorers from a planet called Earth. We found some crashed technology and used it to build our ship, but we do not know its history. We want to learn, not fight. Meanwhile, on the alien flagship, Counselor Vextar had arrived to take command of the situation. He was a tall, thin creature with gray skin and large black eyes. As a senior member of the Galactic Council, he had the authority to make decisions that could affect billions of lives. Admiral Crescent, he said in his cold voice, what is the status of this unknown vessel? They continue to refuse our demands, Counselor. They claim to be peaceful, but our sensors detect energy signatures that match the old destroyer weapons. No peaceful species should have access to such technology. Vextar studied the readings on his screen. The destroyer weapons had killed trillions of beings during the Great War. The Council had spent centuries hunting down every piece of that technology and destroying it. If some unknown species had found working examples and learned to copy them, it could mean the end of galactic peace. Have they revealed the location of their home world? He asked. No, Counselor. They refuse to give us any information about where they come from. Vextar made his decision. Then we must assume they are protecting a secret military base. Send. In the boarding ships. We will take their vessel by force and extract the information we need. 6 smaller alien ships broke away from the main fleet and moved toward the human vessel. Each one carried 50 soldiers armed with the best weapons the Council could provide. On the Defiance, Ron Baker watched the approaching ships on his tactical screen. Captain, 6 ships moving in fast. They look like boarding craft. Jake felt his heart rate increase. This was exactly what he had hoped to avoid. All hands, prepare to repel boarders. Security teams to the airlocks. Engineering, seal all internal doors. Lisa Rodriguez ran back to her engine room while Amy Turner kept trying to communicate with the aliens. Captain, they are not listening to our messages anymore. I think they have decided to take us by force. Dr. Wright looked scared but determined. Captain, if they board our ship, they will see all our technology. They will learn everything about human capabilities and weaknesses. We cannot let that happen. Jake knew she was right. If the aliens captured the Defiance, they would have samples of humanity's best technology. Worse, they might torture the crew to learn the location of Earth. 600 million humans lived on Earth, completely defenseless against alien attack. Ron, target the boarding craft. Warning shots only. Show them we can defend ourselves without killing anyone. Yes, sir? The human ship's weapons fired for the first time in alien space. Bright blue energy beams shot out from the Defiance and struck the empty space in front of the approaching boarding craft. The alien stopped moving, surprised by the accuracy and power of the human weapons. On his flagship, Admiral Cresson stared at his screens in shock. How did they do that? Our boarding craft are using full stealth mode. Their sensors should not be able to target them accurately. His science officer looked confused. Sir, their weapons use an energy type we have never seen before. It appears to be a combination of plasma and particle beam technology. Our records show nothing like it. Counselor Vexstar felt a chill of fear. The unknown ship had weapons that surpassed Council technology, sensors that could see through their best stealth systems, and shields that had absorbed their test shots without any damage. This was exactly what the Council had feared for 3 centuries. Admiral, prepare the full fleet for battle. If they will not surrender, we must destroy them before they can report back to their home world. Sir, are you sure? If we attack and fail, we might start a war with the species that has superior technology. If we do nothing and they escape, they might return with a fleet of ships like this one. The Council will not survive another great war. On the human ship, the crew felt the change in the situation immediately. The alien ships spread out into attack formation, their weapons charging to full power. Jake looked around his bridge at his crew. These people had followed him into unknown space, trusting his judgment. Now he had to decide whether to fight or surrender. Either choice could doom humanity. Lisa, how long until the jump drive is ready? 20 minutes, Captain. Ron, full analysis. Can we survive their attack? Ron studied his screens carefully. Sir, their weapons are powerful, but they seem to use old targeting systems. Our shields should hold against their first attack, maybe their second. After that, he did not need to finish. Amy Turner suddenly looked up from her communication station. Captain, I am getting a new signal. It is not from the military ships. Someone else is trying to contact us. Put it through. A different alien voice came through the speakers, softer and more careful than the military demands they had been. Hearing. Unknown vessel. This is Science Director Kon Ara of the Council Research Division. Please respond if you can understand this message. Amy worked quickly to send a reply. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the human ship Defiance. We can understand you. We want to talk peacefully. Captain Morrison, I have been studying your ship's energy patterns. Your technology appears to combine Council science with innovations we have never seen. This suggests your species found ancient artifacts and improved upon them using your own methods. Is this correct? Jake looked at Dr. Wright, who nodded. Yes, that is correct. We found crash technology on our homeworld and learned from it. Captain, you may be in great danger. The Council fears your technology because it resembles weapons from an ancient war. It nearly destroyed our civilization. But if your species developed these improvements independently, you may represent something new, something that could benefit all of us. What are you suggesting? Jake asked. Allow me to come aboard your vessel alone, without weapons. Let me see your technology and meet your people. If I can prove to the Council that you are not the ancient enemy returned, perhaps we can avoid this battle. Admiral Cresson's angry voice broke into the communication. Science Director, you do not have authority to negotiate with potential enemies. Return to your ship immediately. But Jake had heard enough. This alien scientist might be humanity's only chance to avoid a war they could not win. Science Director, Quinara, you are welcome aboard our ship. We will lower our shields in the docking bay to allow your shuttle to enter. The small alien shuttle entered the human ship's docking bay, while 20 warships waited outside with their weapons ready to fire. Captain Jake Morrison stood in the bay with Dr. Helen Wright and a security team, watching as the strange craft landed with a soft hiss. The shuttle door opened, and Science Director Kinara stepped out. She was unlike any creature the humans had ever imagined. Her skin was pale blue with silver markings, and she had 6 arms that moved with graceful precision. Her large eyes showed intelligence and curiosity rather than fear. Captain Morrison, she said through a translation device, thank you for this opportunity. I hope we can prevent the tragedy that my military colleagues seem determined to create. Jake nodded respectfully. Science Director, we really do want peace. But we will defend ourselves if we have to. I understand. May I see your technology? I need to prove to the Council that your weapons are not the ancient destroyers we fear. Dr. Wright stepped forward. I can show you our engineering section. But first, can you tell us about this ancient war? We found crash technology on our planet, but we knew nothing about its history. As they walked through the ship's corridors, Konara explained the Great War that had nearly destroyed the galaxy 300 years ago. The destroyer species had weapons that could eliminate entire star systems. They were stopped only when all other species united against them. We thought we had found and destroyed all their technology. Lisa Rodriguez met them in the engine room, where the fusion reactors hummed with controlled power. This is our main drive system, she explained. We combined human fusion technology with alien power crystals we found in the crashed ships. Quinara studied the engines with her 6 arms moving over scanning devices. Fascinating. You have taken basic Council technology and improved it beyond anything we thought possible. Your fusion process is 90% more efficient than our best designs. How? Lisa asked, excited to talk with another engineer. You use a rotating magnetic field that we never considered. In Council science, we follow traditional methods that have worked for thousands of years. But your species appears to question everything and try new approaches. Meanwhile, on the alien flagship, Admiral Cresson was losing patience. Counselor Vexstar, the science director, has been on that ship for 30 minutes. We should attack now while their shields are partially lowered. No, Admiral. Let Quinara complete her investigation. If she confirms that these beings have destroyer technology, we will destroy them. But if she finds something else, we may have discovered a valuable new ally. Back on the human ship, Quinara was examining the weapon systems with Ron Baker. Your particle beams use a frequency modulation. That makes them incredibly accurate, she said with admiration. How did you develop this? We had problems with our early tests, Ron explained. The weapons kept missing their targets because of interference from our own shields. So we tried different frequencies until we found one that worked better. You experimented until you found a solution. In Council military, we would have followed the standard procedures and accepted the poor accuracy. Dr. Wright showed Quinara the medical bay where Dr. Sam Foster was treating a crew member with a broken arm. Our medical technology is also a combination of human and alien methods, she explained. Quinara watched the human doctor work. Your medical scanner shows internal injuries in detail that our best equipment cannot match. How is this possible? We combined alien sensor technology with human computer processing, Dr. Foster explained. Our computers can analyze the data faster, can show more detail. After 2 hours of examination, Quinara asked to speak with Captain Morrison privately. They went to his small office behind the bridge, where she shared her conclusions. Captain, your species has accomplished something remarkable. You have taken basic council technology and improved it in ways that our best scientists never imagined. Your ship is more advanced than anything in the galaxy. Jake felt both proud and worried. Is that good or bad for us? It depends on how you use this advantage. The Council has kept peace for 3 centuries by making sure no single species has superior military technology. Your ship changes that balance. We don't want to conquer anyone, Jake said honestly. We just want to explore space and maybe make some friends. I believe you, Captain, but others will not be so trusting. When they see what your species can do, some will want to destroy you before you become too powerful. Their conversation was interrupted by Amy Turner's voice over the intercom. Captain, the alien fleet is powering up all weapons. I think they are about to attack. Jake and Quinara rushed to the bridge, where the crew was at battle stations. On the main screen, they could see the alien warships moving into attack formation. Science Director, Admiral Cressona's voice came over the communications. You have had enough time. What is your conclusion about this vessel? Quinara looked at Jake and spoke into her communicator. Admiral, this species is not the ancient enemy. They are something new. Their technology could benefit all Council species if we approach them with friendship instead of fear. Unacceptable, Counselor Vextar interrupted. No species can be allowed to possess weapons that surpass Council technology. They must surrender or be destroyed. Jake felt anger building inside him. These aliens were going to attack his ship and crew because they were afraid of human success. Science Director, please return to your shuttle. We don't want you to be hurt in the battle. Captain, you cannot fight 20 warships alone. We'll see about that, Jake said grimly. Ron, target their lead ship. Lisa, bring all systems to full power. Amy, send a message to the alien fleet. Tell them we offered friendship, but if they want war, they'll get more than they bargained for. Quinara reluctantly returned to her shuttle and left the human ship. As soon as she was clear, Jake gave his orders. All hands, this is the captain. We tried to make peace, but these aliens want to destroy us because they fear our technology. Today, we show them that humans don't surrender to bullies. All stations, prepare for battle. The first alien attack came as 20 ships fired their plasma cannons at once. The energy beams struck the human ship's shields in a display of light. That could be seen for millions of miles on the alien flagship. Weapons officers cheered as their attack hit the target. But their celebration died when the human ship emerged from the explosion completely undamaged. Impossible, Admiral Cresson whispered. Nothing could survive that much firepower. Lisa Rodriguez smiled in her engine room as the ship's hybrid. Shields absorbed the alien energy and converted it into power for their own systems. Thanks for the free energy boost, she said to herself. Ron Baker targeted the alien flagship's weapon systems with precision that shocked the enemy. His first shot disabled their main guns without damaging the ship's structure or killing the crew. His second shot took out their shield generators. This is Captain Morrison, Jake announced over an open channel to all alien ships. We don't want to kill anyone, but we will defend ourselves. Stand down now, or we'll disable all your ships. Admiral Cresson stared at his screens in disbelief. The unknown vessel had survived the combined firepower of 20 warships, and then disabled his flagship with 2 perfect shots. This was technology beyond anything he had ever seen. All ships, attack pattern 7. Surround them and fire everything we have. But the human ship moved like nothing the aliens had ever seen. Pete Collins piloted the Defiance through the alien formation with impossible grace, dodging plasma beams and missile attacks while Ron Baker systematically disabled alien weapons. With surgical precision, in 10 minutes of battle, the humans had disabled the weapon systems of 15 alien ships without destroying a single vessel or killing a single alien. The remaining ships stopped firing, not because they were ordered to, but because their crews were too amazed to continue fighting. "Attention, alien fleet," Jake announced. "This is your final warning. We could have destroyed all your ships, but we chose not to. We want peace, but we will not be pushed around. What's it going to be?" On the alien flagship, Counselor Vexstar felt fear for the first time in his long life. This unknown species had weapons that could destroy the entire Council fleet, but they had shown mercy even in battle. They were either the most dangerous species in the galaxy or the most honorable. "Admiral," he said quietly, "cease fire. We need to talk to these beings again." Science Director Kinarai's voice came over the communications from her shuttle. "Counselor, you have just witnessed something incredible. This species could have destroyed our entire fleet, but they chose to disable your weapons instead of killing your crews. They are not the ancient destroyers. They are something much better." Jake Morrison stood on his bridge, surrounded by his crew, who had just won humanity's first space battle. But he felt no joy in the victory. They had made enemies when they wanted to make friends. The galaxy was a dangerous place, and Earth was very far away. "Amy, open a channel to all alien ships," he ordered. "Let's try this peace thing one more time." After the battle ended, an uneasy quiet filled the space around the human ship. 15 alien warships floated helplessly with their weapons destroyed, while 5 others maintained defensive positions. Captain Jake Morrison had proven that humans could fight, but now he needed to prove that humans could make peace. "This is Captain Morrison to all Council ships," he announced over the communication system. "We are willing to talk, but this time we talk as equals. No surrender demands, no threats. Just 2 civilizations trying to understand each other." On the alien flagship, Counselor Vexstar stared at his damaged ship and made a decision that would change galactic history. "Admiral Crescent, request permission to come aboard the human vessel. I need to meet these beings face to face." "Sir, that could be dangerous. We know nothing about their intentions." "Admiral, they just disabled our entire fleet without killing a single being. If they wanted us dead, we would already be floating in space. I think they really do want to talk." 2 hours later, Counselor. Vexstar arrived at the human ship in a diplomatic shuttle accompanied by Science Director Kunyara and a small team of advisors. Captain Morrison met them in the ship's main conference room with his senior officers. The meeting started awkwardly, with both sides studying each other carefully. Vexstar was tall and thin with gray skin, while Kinara had the blue skin and 6 arms that the humans had seen before. The other alien advisors came in different shapes and sizes, representing various species in the Galactic Council. "Captain Morrison," Vexstar began, "you have demonstrated capabilities that concern the Galactic Council. Your ship's technology surpasses anything we have seen in 300 years. Jake nodded. "Counselor, we understand your concern. But we didn't come here to threaten anyone. We were testing our new jump drive and ended up in your space by accident." Dr. Hellenreich spoke up. "We found crashed alien technology on our planet many years ago. We studied it and combined it with our own science to build better ships. We didn't know it would cause problems." Science Director Kunarai leaned forward with interest. "Dr. Wright, how did your species approach the alien technology?" "Most civilizations either copy it exactly or ignore it completely. We took it apart piece by piece," Helen explained. "We learned how each part worked, then asked ourselves how we could make it work better. Sometimes we combined alien ideas with human methods. Sometimes we found completely new approaches." One of the alien advisors, a creature with orange fur and large ears, looked puzzled. But why change proven technology? If it works, why risk making it different? Lisa Rodriguez answered from her seat at the table. Because we're engineers. We see a problem. We try to fix it. We see something that works okay. We try to make it work better. That's just how humans think. Vexstar studied the human faces around the table. This approach to technology explains your ship's capabilities. But it also explains why the Council sees you as a threat. Change brings uncertainty, and uncertainty brings conflict. Not always, Jake said firmly. Change can also bring progress and improvement. Our ship could have destroyed your entire fleet today, but we chose not to. We used our advanced technology to disable your weapons without hurting your crews. Doesn't that prove we can be trusted? The room fell silent as the aliens considered this point. Finally, Quinara spoke. Captain, in all our recorded history, no species has ever shown such restraint in battle. When the ancient destroyers fought, they killed billions. When Council species fight each other, they destroy everything they can reach. But you had overwhelming power and chose mercy. That's what civilized beings do, Dr. Sam Foster said from his seat. You don't kill people just because you can. You try to solve problems without violence whenever possible. An alien advisor with blue scales and 4 eyes looked confused. But if you don't use your full power, your enemies might recover and attack you again. Military doctrine requires complete victory to ensure security. Ron Baker, the human tactical officer, shook his head. That's old thinking. If we had destroyed your ships today, every species in the galaxy would see us as killers. They would unite against us out of fear. But by showing mercy, we prove that we can be trusted with power. Amy Turner, who had been listening to alien communications throughout the meeting, added her thoughts. I've been monitoring your fleet's internal communications. Your crews are talking about how we could have killed them, but chose not to. They're more curious about us now than afraid. Vexstar realized the humans were right. You have created a situation where strength leads to respect rather than fear. This is unusual in galactic politics. It's how we've learned to survive on Earth, Jake explained. Humans have been fighting wars for thousands of years. We've learned that the best victories are the ones where your enemy becomes your friend afterward. Science Director Queen Ara looked excited. This perspective could change how all Council species approach conflict. Captain, would you be willing to demonstrate your technology to our scientists? Not for military purposes, but to show how your combination approach works? Jake looked around at his crew, then nodded. Dr. Wright, show them our medical scanner. Lisa, explain how our engines work. Ron, demonstrate our targeting systems using the simulator, not real weapons. For the next 4 hours, the human crew shared their knowledge with the alien visitors. The aliens were amazed by how humans had taken basic Council technology and improved it through experimentation and creative thinking. Your medical scanner can detect diseases that our equipment misses completely, noted Dr. Zelmuth, the Council's chief medical officer. How did you develop this capability? Dr. Foster smiled. We combined your sensor technology with our understanding of human biology. Then we tested it on thousands of volunteers until we learned how to read the results better. You tested experimental technology on your own people? Dr. Zelmuth asked in shock. Volunteers, Dr. Foster emphasized. People who understood the risks and wanted to help develop better medical care. That's how we learn and improve. Lisa Rodriguez was explaining the ship's engines to a group of alien engineers. We took your power crystals and tried different ways to focus their energy. After about 1,000 failed experiments, we discovered this rotating field method. 1,000 experiments? Asked Chief Engineer Vorthek. That must have taken decades. 2 years, Lisa corrected. We ran multiple experiments every day, learned from each failure, and tried something new. Humans don't give up easily. Meanwhile, Ron Baker was showing the alien military officers how human targeting systems worked. We use multiple sensor types, feeding data to advanced computers that can calculate target movement and adjust for interference. This explains how you could target our stealth ships, Admiral Cresson admitted. Your sensors see things ours miss, and your computers process information faster than ours can. As the demonstration continued, Counselor Vextar began to understand something important. The humans weren't just technologically advanced. They had a completely different way of thinking about problems. While council species followed established procedures, humans questioned everything and constantly tried to find better methods. Captain Morrison, he said finally, the Galactic Council faces a decision. We can view your species as a threat to be contained, or as a resource that could benefit all civilizations. Your approach to technology and conflict resolution could help us solve problems we have struggled with for centuries. Jake felt hope for the first time since arriving in alien space. What are you suggesting, Counselor? A formal first contact protocol. Your species would be offered membership in the Galactic Council, with full rights and responsibilities. In exchange, you would share your innovative approaches with other species and help us modernize our technology and methods. That sounds like exactly what we hoped for when we first dreamed of meeting aliens, Jake said with a smile. But before Vex, General Torgarn arrived at the meeting point with over 100 warships, the largest battle fleet the Galactic Council had assembled in 50 years. His flagship was twice the size of any other ship present, covered with weapons and armor. That had been tested in dozens of battles across the galaxy. The general himself was a massive creature, standing 8 feet tall with thick gray skin covered in battle scars. His 4 arms each carried different weapons, and his red eyes showed. The experience of someone who had fought the galaxy's worst enemies. When he spoke, his voice was deep and commanding. Counselor Vextar, explain why you have allowed destroyer technology aboard Council vessels, he demanded as he entered the conference room where humans and aliens had been meeting. Captain Jake. Morrison stood up respectfully. General Torgan, I'm Captain Morrison of the human vessel Defiance. We're not destroyers. We're explorers who found crashed alien technology and used it to build better ships. Torgan studied Jake with eyes that had seen too much war. You speak our language well for someone who claims to be peaceful. The ancient destroyers also learned to speak our words before they killed billions of our people. Dr. Helen Wright stepped forward. General, we've been sharing our medical and engineering knowledge with your people for the past 6 hours. Would destroyers help heal your wounded and repair your ships? Tricks and deception, Torgan replied. The destroyers were clever. They gained trust before striking. I will not make the same mistake my ancestors made. Science Director Quinara tried to reason with him. General, I've examined their technology personally. They've taken basic council science and improved it through experimentation and innovation. This is not destroyer technology. Then explain how one ship disabled 20 council warships in 10 minutes, Torgan challenged. Only destroyer weapons have that power. Ron Baker, the human tactical officer, answered calmly. General, we disabled your ships without killing anyone. Destroyer weapons killed everything they touched. We used precision targeting to destroy weapons while keeping crews safe. Torgan's scarred face showed doubt for the first time. You could see through our stealth systems and target our weapon points exactly. How? Lisa Rodriguez explained their targeting system. We use multiple sensor types feeding information to computers that calculate the best way to disable a ship without hurting the people inside. It took us 2 years to develop the software. You developed new technology specifically to avoid killing enemies? Torgan asked with surprise. That's what civilized people do, Jake said firmly. We solve. Problems without unnecessary violence. But before Turgon could respond, alarms began ringing throughout the alien fleet. Admiral Cressan's voice came over the communications in panic. "General, we have a problem. Long-range sensors detect a massive fleet approaching from the outer. RIM, unknown design, unknown technology. They're moving faster than anything we've ever seen." Jake felt ice in his stomach. "How many ships?" "Over 300, Captain, and they're not responding to any communications." Turgan immediately took command. "All ships to battle stations. Form defensive positions around the diplomatic vessels. If this is a destroyer fleet, we make our stand here." But Jake was already moving toward his ship. "General, with respect, 300 unknown ships are too many for any defensive position. We need to work together if we want to survive this." "You would fight beside us against unknown enemies?" Turgan asked. "General, these alien friends gave us a chance to talk instead of just shooting. Now something is threatening them, which means it's threatening us too. Of course we'll fight." The next hour passed in frantic preparation. The human ship took position at the center of the Council formation, while alien engineers worked desperately to repair their damaged vessels. Dr. Foster and his medical teams prepared for massive casualties, while Lisa Rodriguez helped Alien. Engineers bring their weapons back online. When the unknown fleet finally appeared on sensors, everyone stared in shock. The ships were enormous, each one larger than General Turgan's flagship. They moved in perfect formation with weapons that glowed with deadly energy. "This is Commander Vashter of the Hegemony Warfleet," came a cold voice over communications. "All vessels in this system will surrender or be destroyed. You have 10 minutes to comply." General Turgan responded immediately. "This is General Turgan of the Galactic Council. You are in Council space. Withdraw or face the consequences." The alien commander laughed. "The Council is weak and divided. Your time is over. The Hegemony will bring order to this galaxy." Jake realized this was exactly what he had feared. While the Council worried about humans, a real enemy had been preparing for war. "General, request permission to coordinate our defensive efforts." "Granted, Captain." "Show me what human tactics can do." Jake quickly studied the enemy formation. On his screens, Amy opened channels to all Council ships. Ron analyzed their weapons patterns. Lisa, prepare for maximum power to shields and weapons. "Captain," Pete Collins called from navigation, "those ships are using some kind of space-folding technology. They can appear anywhere in the battle zone instantly." "Then we need to be unpredictable too," Jake decided. General Turgan can. "Your ships follow complex formation changes quickly?" "Council ships are trained for coordinated maneuvers," the general replied proudly. "Good. Here's what we're going to do." The battle began when the Hegemony fleet attacked without warning. Their weapons were unlike anything the Council had seen, firing energy beams that cut through normal shields like paper. Within minutes, 5 Council ships were destroyed, but Jake had prepared for this. All ships execute pattern Morrison Alpha. Stay close to the human vessel. The Defiance moved into the center of the Council formation and activated its hybrid shields at maximum power. Instead of trying to cover just the human ship, Lisa Rodriguez had modified the shield generators to create a protective bubble around nearby vessels. "Impossible," Commander Vashter transmitted as his weapons struck the human shields and were absorbed harmlessly. "No known technology can create shields of that size and power." General Turgan watched in amazement as the human ship protected his entire fleet, while Ron Baker's targeting systems directed Council weapons with incredible precision. Working together, human sensors and alien weapons began destroying Hegemony ships with surgical strikes. "Captain Morrison," Turgan called over communications, Your people fight with honor and skill. I have misjudged your species. But the battle was far from over. The hegemony had too many ships, and their space-folding technology allowed them to attack from multiple directions at once. Even with human shields and targeting, the Council fleet was slowly being overwhelmed. Jake, Lisa, called from engineering. I can't maintain these shields much longer. We need a new plan. Jake made a decision that would change galactic history. Amy broadcast to all Council ships. Tell them to form up for a jump to hyperspace. We're going to Earth. Earth, Captain? Pete asked in confusion. Earth, Jake confirmed. It's time for the galaxy to meet the rest of humanity. The jump to Earth took 6 hours, with human and alien ships traveling together through hyperspace. When they emerged near Earth's moon, the Council aliens stared in wonder at humanity's home system. By the ancient stars, breathed Science Director Quinara. How many humans are there? Jake smiled as Earth Defense Command ships moved to join the fleet. 50 human vessels, each one incorporating the lessons learned from the Defiance's first contact. Behind them came the massive orbital stations where humanity had been preparing for galactic contact. Earth Defense Command to all vessels, came Admiral Patricia Hayes' voice over communications. Welcome to Earth space. We've been monitoring your communications and are ready to assist. General Torgan could not believe what he was seeing. Captain Morrison, your people have built a fleet in secret? Not in secret, General. We've been preparing ever since we found that first crashed alien ship. We knew that someday we would meet other species, and we wanted to be ready to defend ourselves or help our friends. The final battle took place in Earth's outer system, with human and Council ships fighting side by side against the hegemony invasion fleet. Human technology and tactics, combined with alien experience and firepower, proved unstoppable. When the last hegemony ship was destroyed or had fled, General Torgan requested permission to come aboard the human flagship. In the conference room, where this adventure had begun, he formally apologized to Captain Morrison. I was wrong about your species, he said with dignity. You are not destroyers. You are protectors. The galaxy needs more species like humanity. 6 months later, the Galactic Council formally welcomed humanity as a full member with voting rights and territorial claims. Human colonies were established in 12 star systems, protected by Earth's growing fleet. But more importantly, human. Ideas about cooperation, innovation, and peaceful conflict resolution began spreading throughout the galaxy. Other species started experimenting with technology instead of following ancient traditions. Diplomatic solutions became more common than military ones. Captain Jake Morrison, now promoted to Admiral, stood on the bridge of the new Earth flagship and looked out at the stars. Humanity had taken its place among the galactic civilizations, not through conquest, but through friendship and mu.